Final score, Chargers 24 and the Seattle Seahawks 14. So Brian Schottenheimer, of course, no stranger to the Chargers. Nice moment between him and Anthony Lynn as Jenkins comes down with it, but LT just runs out of real estate.
Yeah, and the thing that I love about these last plays on Hail Marys, the referees never call pass interference. So you can do whatever you want at the end of the game to the receivers. They're not going to call it.
LT, what do you take away? Obviously, the backup quarterback position may be sliding a little bit more in favor of Geno Smith.
Well, I thought Geno played excellent tonight. He really showed poise, command of the offense, had some great throws. You know, he eluded the rush and made some plays with his legs when he needed to. Really took a step forward to claim that second-string quarterback position.
Geno Smith was poised. There's some terrific throws and also ran for a couple of first downs, leading the Chargers down the field en route to their first preseason victory of 2018. So for the Damian Tomlinson, Haley Elwood, our producer Mark Titleman, and our director Mike Hassan, this is Spiro Diaz saying goodnight from Los Angeles, where once again the final score, the Chargers 24 and the Seattle Seahawks 14. Tune in next week when the Chargers take on the New Orleans Saints.
Does he still have it? Adrian Peterson back on the field. We've got your first impressions from Washington.
Big Clinton Portis. Hey, a new episode of Hard Knocks tonight. Should next week's episode show Baker Mayfield as a first-team QB?
Plus, if you're thinking about taking that flashy wide receiver, think again why you absolutely cannot pass up on a running back at the top of your fantasy draft. That is straight ahead on NFL Total Access.
Well, hey there, welcome to NFL Total Access, presented by Michelin, Willie McGinnis, David Carr, Lindsey Rhodes, Scott Hansen, leading you up to the most important weekend of the preseason.
And they call it a dress rehearsal for a reason, and we're getting a better idea today who will be dressed for it. Like Nick Foles, for instance. He will start for the Eagles on Thursday. Remember, he hurt his shoulder in last week's game against the Patriots. He ended up losing early, turned out it wasn't anything serious, so he will be out there Thursday against the Browns. Doug Peterson saying today he'd like to get a half out of him and the other starters.
Your body knows it's game day, so getting to feel that, again in the preseason, just getting back ready to go for the season. I'm excited. My body feels great. I'm very fortunate on my shoulder. Going out there playing with the guys, stepping in the huddle, obviously getting on the same page with the personnel. But I'm just looking forward to going into the game and just playing football.
As for the Browns, Hugh Jackson also planning on playing kick starters for a half. In case you're wondering, that definitely means Tyrod Taylor. Jackson reiterating again this week that the veteran quarterback will get all of the first-team reps. Baker Mayfield said to come in with the second string.
It's been 19 months. Last time Andrew Luck was on an NFL game field. Picks up the first down. And a nice way to start for Luck and the Colts. Luck doesn't look like a guy that's this one of the year. Didn't play at all last year, but is in rhythm already.
Luck extending to the right. And it's intercepted. Got to go back to week 7, 2015, the last time that Andrew Luck was intercepted in the red zone. Luck. Good look that time. Step forward and found Doyle again for another first down.
And that's what Andrew Luck brings. Well, look, for Colts fans, it was great to see 12 back in uniform. And then it was great to see him throwing a football. Great to see him throwing a full-size NFL football. But now we're kind of getting to the point where we're like, the regular season's approaching, and let's see some numbers in the preseason. And Andrew Luck, he is not really as impressive so far. Still looking for his first touchdown pass in the preseason, and has only had 3 field goal drives in 2 games for the Colts so far. So we've got our resident quarterback right here. People want to know about the shoulder, and they want to know about rust. Speaking to the shoulder strength, I had the folks at Next Gen Stats look this one up. What's the farthest pass Luck has thrown in preseason? And I'm not talking about straight downfield. I'm talking about from the point of release to the point of hitting the ground.
25 yards.
35 yards.
Yeah.
Is as far as we've seen him throw a football. Something happened. So how much concern, how much confidence in what you've seen out 12?
Well, we've seen a small sample size, but like you say, we haven't seen really anything down the field. I've seen stuff like this, which is actually really good. Highlights of what Andrew Luck has done well. You know, clear out the middle of the field, and you got excellent concept down here at the bottom, and 2 double in cuts. Now this linebacker has to work on. He's way out of position. Andrew's able to even slide, keep his eyes down the field, even though he could have ran here. He makes a good throw on the move, which is something that's not a controlled environment. So that was good to see. Something that concerns me is he still takes too many hits, too many sacks. This is a rotation. If he goes to one safety, we're going to work down here to the bottom, to the one-on-one route, a comeback route. So after playing aggressive, you see the rotation safety. Now he's concerned that safety is too close to the numbers. So instead of just staying on the same side, dumping it to the running back, he goes to the other side, tries to make something more than this there happen, ends up holding the ball too long, and then as you see it unfold, he ends up taking a hit and sack. And he did that a couple times this thing, he's done that a couple times in preseason. And that's stuff that kind of got him in trouble before. He takes a lot of hits, tries to do too much, when it's really not that difficult. He's really capable of throwing comebacks and running back. But there's just something in him that he wants to make a big play. He doesn't do that all the time.
You talk about taking hits. That's the issue. This offensive line for the Colts gave up the most sacks of any offensive line last season. I know they have the players, but
it's not only the sacks. I expect him to come up to his own running. I expect him to miss some leads and be off good. He has just a lot of football. The other as far as being around Andrew Luck, because we're concerned they have a consistent running game to take the pressure off. We've been asking for this for the last 3 to 4 years. This offensive line has been retooled for the last 3 to 4 years. They're trying to figure that out. He can come back 100% healthy, the strongest arm ever, but if other things around this offense continue to break down, he'll still be in the same position, struggling in forcing plays. He'll continue to get hit, and we won't see a lot of it. So they got to fix a lot of things. I think to start, like Mike White is doing, is get the ball out of his hands and making other people work within the offense. Don't let them hold the ball and take it.
Well, and it'll help once he's able to have T.Y. Hilton back on the field and Marlon back in the backfield. He's missing a lot of pieces around him in this game. We did see Lamar Jackson on the field last night also. I don't think either of you were particularly blown away by what you saw. What have you not seen from him, Willie, in the preseason that you would like to see?
Well, the thing that I came up with when watching a lot of tape on him in these last few games is he's always in, I got to make a play mode. And here's an example. Here he is right here. He got a clean pocket. He's climbing the pocket. And instead of dropping back, setting his feet, now he's going through his progression. He's on the wrong side. The other receiver is to the right. So he misses that beat. And what he's going to do, he's going to run right into the running. The guy runs him. Again, here he is right here. Clean pocket, talking about sliding. Slide to your left. Avoid the pressure. You got 4 guys wide open. Set your feet, square your shoulders, deliver the ball. I'm going into make a play mode. I'm going 25 to 30 yards the opposite way, and then turn to left. And then the most obvious play is right here. It's very simple. Clear pocket. He's panicking, happy feet. Nobody's around him. Going to play, make a play mode. You got 2 receivers on. You got a receiver and a running back. Dump the ball off. Okay? Get rid of the football. Instead, he takes off. And this is the worst thing about this play. He's taking unnecessary hits. He can't continue to do this. And when you look at this play closely when we're playing, he's actually violating the helmet rule because he's lowering his helmet to initiate contact. He will not last long in this league if he continues to play reckless. And he's got a guy right there that can tell him all about that RG3.
And you said violate the helmet rule. Even though it didn't make contact with anything, that's still something that could be whistled?
So if you look at his position, he got position, lowering his helmet to initiate the contact. That's where all the trouble has been. If the defender had been coming straight and he made contact, whether he hit a helmet, a thigh, or a knee, that could have been bad for him. I'm going to say it's a violation of the quarterback rule. Quarterback should in that position.
For the last decade, that's been the case, yeah. Well, speaking of that particular player blowing the helmet in general, we're now 2 weeks into the preseason watching games of football with one of the more significant rule changes we've had in some time. Rule 12, Section 2, Article 8. It is a foul if a player lowers his hand to initiate and make contact with his helmet against an opponent. A rule with enough potential impact to completely change
cost us people some jobs. Playoffs, jobs, all bit, I'm guessing. But, you know, we're going to keep trying. I mean, we haven't had any calls on us so far. But, you know, it's just hard to figure out. No one's ever said to me, hey, don't worry about it, we're going to call less. You know, or we're going to straighten it out in the regular season, or we're going to come up with a revised rule. No one's ever said that.
We know that they're going to over-officiate it in preseason. I think we welcome that because I think we all know that the helmet as a weapon is not good for the game. Nobody wants it. Coaches, players, fans. So if it takes over-officiating it in preseason to help us get it right, then I think we have to live with that and understand that's going to happen.
So now, the coach is Ian Rappaport, is it safe to say this is still a major work in progress?
It is a work in progress, maybe not in the rule, but certainly giving players and coaches clarity as far as what the league office intends and how it's actually will be pushing it. Scott, to that end, there's going to be a conference call tomorrow. This was a previously scheduled conference call, but it is expected to involve a significant discussion of this helmet rule. In fact, league officials and those who spent a lot of time in this, like those on the competition committee, will provide an update on what they have learned over the course of the first couple weeks, and this really has been a learning experience for everyone. Now, something I'm told adamantly from the league source, no major changes to this rule are expected. For instance, the use of replay, not expected to be expanded as it relates to this rule. They are expected to be maybe some new teaching tools, some new videos led by Al Riveron to help those involved understand this rule. And of course, there is going to be an acclimation period. But think back to when the league instituted the no launching. It took maybe a couple weeks or a month, and everyone slowly started to adapt. The hope is that'll happen here.
And Ian, we'll check back with you after that important conference call tomorrow at league headquarters. Thanks, Ian.
All right.
Willie is not a part of the competition committee, but he was a part of the committee that helped put this rule together, made up of former players, coaches, and referees. So he knows what the intention was. What do you think the best course of action is in this?
I think what Coach Wright said, that the referees are working through a process. It's definitely a transition. They have to understand that there will be some calls that are missed. There will be some calls that probably shouldn't have been called. That's what every single rule, holding, pass interference, whatever the case may be. There are some things that they have to work through. The referees are trying to get it. They're watching tape. You know, they're sitting there with Al, they're watching the tape, they're trying to make sure that, hey, I'm making the right calls on the football field, and I see what I see. There is gray area, but I would say in every rule. And travel your helmet first, instead of your shoulder pads, that is a red flag. They're starting to get more flags. So it starts with the position and your intent. And if you are not in that position, then a lot of times that probably won't be called. Not if we accidentally, hit helmets.
Incidental stuff isn't necessarily what they're going for.
I don't think they're going to be hard on that part. They understand it's still a game of football and reaction and all those different things. But your intent, your position, when you're about to initiate contact, all those things they're taking in. So they're going to call those plays.
I shouldn't have specified if I'm a defensive player either, because obviously this counts for offensive players, as we just saw with Lamar Jackson. Scott?
Well, Lindsay, if it was hard to get used to seeing him in a Saints uniform or a Cardinals uniform, how about this uniform wearing Clinton Portis's old number? That is Adrian Peterson. First day of practice in Washington for him. Likely Hall of Famer, brought in and skimmed after they had injuries in their backfield. He's 33 years old, signed for the veteran minimum to take this opportunity. Let's go live right now to Redskins Park. Mike Garafolo was standing by. He was at that practice. So, Mike, how do you look? And more importantly, where do they see him fitting in this offense?
Right now, it's really about is he going to make the roster. That's the floor here for Adrian Peterson, because you mentioned the injuries in the Redskins backfield. That's where this started. They needed guys to take some carries here because they lost Darius Geis for the season. They lost Samaje Perine to an ankle injury, and they lost Byron Marshall to a knee injury. They couldn't keep him out a while. So Peterson still has to work his way through a crowded backfield if everybody gets healthy and comes back. But you can sign anybody to take carries in the preseason. When you sign Peterson, you know it's because the Redskins see upside here. They run that they're on those downhill runs in their offense. They believe Peterson Peterson could excel at. And you talked about how he looks. We only got to see individuals today. You can see he's still a physical specimen. I had heard how impressive his workout was, and Gruden did confirm that. He said usually you bring in guys who are away from the game, they're bent over, they're huffing and puffing. Peterson was upright, wasn't even breathing heavy, both early in the workout, late in the workout. He might have caught the skins by surprise with his conditioning. One guy not surprised, though, Adrian Peterson himself, that he's still in shape at 33.
I don't allow people to box me in. That's what I try to, just tell people in business. Don't allow anyone to box you in. Your own people. You get out what you put in. Daryl Green ran a 4.4 at 50 years old. Stuff like that. That motivates you. That tells you, hey, anything is possible.
Peterson mentioned Daryl Green. That's the guy that wore 28 here. That number isn't handed out. That's why he's wearing 26 after wearing 23 last year in Arizona.
Well, Mike, assuming he makes the roster and assuming that he can get into the end zone as a Redskin, that'll be his 100th career rushing touchdown. As a Washington Redskin, that'll be interesting when he goes into the Hall, assuming that happens at some day. Mike Garafolo live with the Redskins. Thanks, Mike.
It wasn't that long ago Adrian Peterson was the guy in the NFL. You see here, he led the league in rushing touchdowns in 2015, then he tore his meniscus in 2016, and he has not been the same since. Just 13 games played for the Vikings, Saints, and Cardinals for a total of 601 rushing yards, 293 of which came in 2 games last year for the Cardinals. So he can still get the job done under the right set of circumstances. I guess the question now for you, David and Willie, are we going to see those circumstances in Washington?
I don't think you're going to see the amount of carries that he's getting. Aside from the fact that he's 20 or 25 carries a game, I don't think that. I'm just hopeful that someone in the Washington organization has expressed that to him and that he understands that coming in. Otherwise, you're going to have a disgruntled kind of giving Sean Payton, the kind of crazy stare on the sideline. Like, you don't want to get into a situation like that. But if he knows that he's coming in to kind of be a back that maybe gets 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 carries somewhere in there, and he can be a short yardage guy, maybe help, then I think that everyone's going to be happy. But I don't really expect too much more than that.
And as competitors, I think sometimes we always feel like we're the same guy.
Yeah.
We can do the same things. He's a left and he's had multiple injuries, and not trying to box him that in. Watch him. The way he plays, the burst is not there. The open field ability to make people miss is not there. And I think that's a great point. Did anybody sit down with him to talk about the role? Because if he comes in, understand that we're going to create a role for the general back that can be more out of the backfield as far as pass catching within Jay Gruden's office that I know they want to do, that he's not going to be down up for. It's not going to be 35 carries, 30 carries. I don't think he can do that anyway on a consistent basis. So, I think it's good if he knows if they have to be carved out in role, and he understands his role, and they use it in a certain way. Outside of that, he is not the Adrian Peterson that we're accustomed to seeing when he has those 1,500 yards and almost broke Eric Dickerson's record. He's not the same player.
He is 37 rushing yards away from passing Jim Brown for number 10 all time on the rushing charts. You heard Mike Garafolo say that he wasn't wearing 28 for a reason because of Daryl Green. Well, he's wearing 26. And you know who else wore that number there? That's Portis. And he's not exactly excited that that's the number that he settled on. So put some respect on my name. I love AP, but it's plenty of jerseys to pick from. Doug from Stan. Thanks, lower management.
Wow. What's supposed to do?
There's other numbers, apparently, according to Clinton.
Hey now. Hey, okay, biggest weekend of the preseason coming up, and you know we've got you covered with live games here on NFL Network. Friday night, we got the Packers in Oakland to take on the Raiders. Derek Carr has only played a handful of snaps in the first 2 preseason games for the Raiders. Expect to see quite a bit of him this weekend. Then on Saturday, we got a live doubleheader for you on NFL Network. First, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs take on Mitch Trubisky and the Bears. See if Mahomes can throw 80 yards in the air. Then Marcus Mariota and the Titans battling Big Ben and the Steelers. First kickoff is 1 o'clock Eastern on Saturday. Saturday Night Lights on the Packers and Raiders right here on NFL Network. Aaron Rodgers, Jimmy Graham, Derek Carr, Marshawn Lynch, and a balancing act of reunion and revenge for Jordy Nelson. the headliner of a football festival featuring an MVP bowl, the Battle of New York, new QBs, new coaches, and new questions. We're prepping you for all of it.
Plus, Saturday's first game also here on the network. Chiefs Bears from Chicago. 2 top 10 picks from the 17th round. Let's talk Mahomes. Mobility, check. Leadership, check. Arm strength, check it out. We know he's a gamer, but is he a winner?
But first, Baker Mayfield won't be getting first-team reps. After the break, Hugh Jackson, one question, why?
NFL Total Access is presented by Michelin, a better way forward.
Driving lifted rates can cost you thousands in repairs. All right, Bill Swift here. This storm season, get the entire family of Flex Seal products. Everyone loves Flex Seal. The easy way to coat, seal, protect, and stop.
Russ, we're back here tomorrow.
You remember her, right?
It was impossible to call defense. It's impossible to play defense, and they realized it and they fixed it. So I think the league, put in a safety rule, because of the concussions and things like that, at the very end, without really, researching it. Yeah. So Zimmer's got a point here, and look, if it's going to be called like it is now, you're just ruining the game. It's not mathematically possible to do some of these things. So with your body, but I think the right intentions there. Keep your head up, keep your eyes up. But there's certain instances, where you are going to go ahead and make a play. I think what they want to do is eliminate spearing. Yep. And the second man in that's going to spear. Right. We used to teach, hold the guy up and then come in there and bounce right L's off him. That's how everybody taught. Yep. And because you play by the rules and you're allowed to do it. So if you want to send a message to Michael Irvin, hold him up and let everybody try to, just take a shot. So that's eliminated, but I understand what Zimmer's frustration is. And look, he is as hardcore a veteran coach as there is. So of course this is going to annoy him. And look, he knows he's got a really good team. And he doesn't want to. He got a good physical team. He's got a really good physical team, and that's why they drafted that team. They because physical wins in professional sports, and especially in football. Yep. But if you take, let's not do this to this league. This is a wonderful game, and it's played by the toughest of the tough. Let them prove it.
I agree. I agree with Coach Zimmer. If you remember how what is it called, the Minnesota Miracle happened? Yeah. Because the guy got caught in between of a defensive streak. Do I hit it and get called, or do he did nothing, he got touched down. And you see guys that come out, well, you want to hit you with your shoulder. Well, your head is attached to the shoulder. Yeah. And if you lower your head, if you don't put your shoulder, your head got to come with it. We see guys turning to the side. The guy that has the ball here, he breaks for contact, he turns to the side. Now he hit it. Now I get a flag. It's going to be very interesting how we're going to call this skip on 3rd and 4th and 1. Somebody got to lower their head. Or we're on the goal line. Son, lower your pass. Get that ball in the end zone. What do we do now, Skip? On 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. Or we're on the goal line. Can't lower my head. I'm waiting to see when they call this on 3rd, 4th and 1 or the goal line on an offensive player. Because supposedly he can't lower his head either. Now what are we going to do, Skip? You can go too far. You have to understand, Skip, they've made the car a lot safer. It's seat belts and everything. But if you go 100 miles an hour, I don't care how safe the car is, bad things are going to happen. I don't care how safe you make the game of football. It's inherently dangerous. Yep. You're asking men 250, 300 pounds to run into each other at 15, 20 miles an hour, and sometimes with a 10-yard ahead of steam. Bad things are going to happen. Because the human body, Skip, was not made to run into another human body. It was made to walk upright and just get around day to day. Not have 60 collisions every week for 10, 15, 20 years sometimes. So I get the NFL what you're trying to do. Get that $1.5 billion concussion settlement. Yep. That changed a lot of things. But at some point in time, Skip, take the game too far one way, that these rules, it's like if in the MLB, if they say pitch, you got to pitch other hand. Well, the records are going to be some skill. Now, you got quarterback, if you got quarterbacks that you know they're not really that good, throwing for 4,500 yards. But because the game has shifted so much, and that's where we're headed.
So, I grew up a college football nut, and then I became an NFL nut. And I started covering the National Football League, Don Shula's Miami Dolphins in 1974 when I got out of Vanderbilt University. And I've known dozens and dozens, probably going into the hundreds of players and ex-players. And all of them would have risked their very life to play pro football. They accepted that it was high risk but very high reward. And they knew they were going to get hurt. It's not a matter of if, it's just when are you going to get hurt and how badly you're going to get hurt. It's just what it is. Through the season, every season, you got hurt. You were in some stage of disrepair all the way through the season. And if God was good, maybe you didn't break something or rip something and you got to finish the year. But it was painful to finish the year. It's what the game requires. And it's still a great game. And it hurts my heart to see this happen to the game. And I don't understand it because it seems like it's, to your point, this is about financial liability on the part of the league. Maybe it's some about image that they want to be attracted to the sport to some people. But I think most people just accept that's what football is. It's extremely violent. Maybe it's not glad we don't send lions out to eat the remains of the whoever loses the fight, right?
But Skip, in football, I'm trying to impose my will.
Yeah.
Because think about this, as an offensive defensive lineman, you're trying to move a man against his will. Okay. He's done the investment. I'm not giving up his best play. And Zach Martin and Tyron Smith and Travis Smith, the hell you want. So you're trying to move him against his will. So it is his death. It's mano a mano. This is highly physical. And the mindset you have to have is what I have to comprehend that all of this is. Why can't you just, when players are eligible to be drafted coming out of college, say you have to sign a waiver that says you probably will get hurt playing this game, but you have no liability. It's just a declaration of this is right. Why not? Because then all bets are off. Because obviously, if you're going to box at the highest level, I promise you're going to get hurt. If you're going to go into that octagon, you're going to get hurt. But they know they accept that there's high risk, but there's high reward, both just the competitive reward and financial reward. It's called, for me, it's called assumption of the risk.
Yeah.
I assume that if I take football, now Skip, granted, now we didn't know what we know now as far as concussion, but they have all the literature. They have way more information than what we had, say, when I started playing pro football in the 1990s. And we had more information than they had in the 60s, 70s, and so forth going back. But where we are right now, Skip Bayless, say in the last 5 years, the information that they have, I assume that I can tear a knee ligament, break my arm, and I'm dislocated my elbow, fractured my eye socket, had surgery, broke my collarbone. I assume those things could happen. You assume that now, Skip Bayless, but you also have to understand that when a man is moving, and I'm trying to get him down, Skip, I don't have time. Okay, I got to make sure my hand is on this side. Come on, man.
You just can't do it because what Mike Zimmer is saying, and I've known him since his days as Cowboys defensive backfield coach, and he is a hardcore lifer for football. And he's saying that you're putting these referees in positions down the stretch of the NFL season that cost head coaches their job. Because one of these calls is going to turn a critical game. And you're asking referees that with bigger, stronger, faster men on the field, it's high speed, split second, and they're always going to err on the side of the new rule. And again, like you said, this will probably even itself out some. You know, and I know there's going to be some critical play somewhere down the stretch. Maybe it'll be a Vikings play where, who knows, somebody's going to stick their head in the pile and a flag is going to be thrown and it's going to change the whole game. It can go either way.
There's only been one ejection in the preseason, just by a coach. I think it was a safety. He got released. Now, he didn't get picked up by the Broncos. But when you've been taught this way for a long time, and I get you try to take the head out of the game, and you wrap it, you try to put the shoulders on it. But your head's going to come into play. How do you tackle? Right. No. You're going to leave your
get you the spirit of the Olympics.
Yeah.
That's a fine line of how do you tackle that?
How many spears do you actually see? Not many. I mean, Wilton Herschel was phenomenal at it. He knocked people cold. But here's the thing. We went from, my first year in New Orleans, we led the league in fewest missed tackles. The next year, we're going to be proactive, and we're going to stay ahead of the game, and we're going to teach this rugby tackle that Seattle was putting videos out, but not doing the same chances to blow people. But we're fine if they put our heads on the wrong side. We'll get a guy hurt because he doesn't know how to tackle. You know, we had guys like that, and went, you know, besides other things, other problems we had, you know, we missed the most tackles. So I know this. Look, the NFL is a great game. They're trying to stay active with this. This rule is not going to go away. They just don't need to call it. Just call it when it is two people hitting a guy in a pile with, you know, that Adams got knocked out last year. Okay, call that one. Right, okay, call that one. Call the Wilbur Marshall hitting Troy Aikman under the chin with his helmet. I mean, okay, I get it, but the rest of it, don't do this to this league. The league's too great. It's great. It's still, it's the greatest game. If you want to watch physical contact, you know, hey, you can watch boxing and Ultimate Fighting. That's national law. And they're the greatest men and the greatest alpha males that there are. I mean, they really are, and it's awesome to watch. Yeah.
And this is really just the beginning of that discussion as the season, you know, gets started.
If somebody were to hit a quarterback like Wilbur Marshall hit Eric Hipple, you remember when he hit Eric Hipple?
Yeah.
Detroit hit?
Coaches will be fired.
Anybody follow you?
Go fire.
Is Lamar Jackson on his way to being the starter in Baltimore? We're going to talk about that.
Good. Means I haven't even time to get my hands on it. Once the city cares, we'll move in. Voodoo will turn things around. You'll see.
To get a great price on a family plan with unlimited gigs. Switch to Boost Best Family Plan and get 4 lines for only $100 with unlimited gigs on every line.
I'm suiting up.
To it.
Ignite your passions.
Go!
It's not a car.
Oh, you know, I gotta learn that, you know, just sit down, when the hips up, on how to, you know, stay warm to the process. You know, I didn't do a good job tonight, you know, I thought I was slow, like I said, and compete, and a lot of balls, I didn't like, but ended up overtaking it. But I don't really know, you know, I just got to perform, but I don't feel like I can perform that, I learned to get.
Yeah, that's great thing about Lamar. He's confident, you know, he's going to keep competing, and he's always going to believe that he can make the play to turn the game, and he did a great job of doing that. And we just keep working, you know, keep getting better in all the little areas, and there's no question in my mind that he's got a great future.
Rob Ryan is still with us. So, Rob, do you think that Lamar will ever take Flacco's job?
Eventually, yes, I do. I think Lamar Jackson is he's Randall Cunningham. So if you remember Randall Cunningham's history, he came in he's going to have certain plays for him, and Randall came in on every third down. Jaworski trot off, here comes Cunningham. He probably wasn't the smartest way to do it, but I know my father wanted to get the best athlete on the field, and he had him. And then after that, then he takes over, and it's first down. He's like, wow, it's not third down. Yeah. But with this kid, he's going to have plays. And right now, they're not showing any of that. Wait till they start running his plays, kind of like Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson got in the game, and all of a sudden, hey, they're running different plays than never showed in the preseason. You know this kid's got to have a plethora of plays for him to get in the game. Yep. And Baltimore's offense needs it. Right, they need it. And this kid, I think he's going to be playing week 1. I know Flacco will be starting, but this kid's going to play week 1. And that means that's trouble for Flacco because this kid's dynamic. This guy's going to make plays. And I think with Baltimore, like they are, Martell's doing a great job with that defense. And that defense is there. And it's true. And it's going to push them to get to the playoffs. They needed another weapon on offense. Well, they got him sitting right there behind Flacco.
Yeah. So could you see Lamar taking over the job this season at some point?
I think absolutely he will. If they're averaging 5.8 a throw, like they did the last couple of years, absolutely he'll play. And look, you have two coordinators over there in Roman and Morningway. They got to figure out what are the best plays each week. Let's put our tackles in. We've done it for defensive players as a defensive coach. First round pick, I'm going to play. So I have to do my calls with this kid in the game. Right. You know, they're going to do the same thing with this one. And not every play is going to be for Jackson in the locker room. But I think bringing this kid in can only help with stagnant offense. Which, who we kid? They've been that way for years. They have. Yeah. And the thing is, for me, do I think they drafted him with the hope that he would take over? I just don't know if he's going to be this good. From what I think, I believe he'll be better for the not to have to play that play. But Joe Flacco thinks of doing like he stuck it up the last couple of years ago, where they have no choice. But it's hard to believe that, from what I've seen from Lamar Jackson, if Joe Flacco is anywhere supposed to be confident that Lamar Jackson takes over the starting job. He's just not ready mentally to the nuances of playing the quarterback position. Because right now, he's watching the rush, and he's not anticipating the rush, and he's not watching what's going on downfield. He's always done it. Yeah. And you can get away with that in college, too. But not in the NFL. These guys are too good. The defense coordinators are too good. They'll take it away, and they'll make you play your weakness. And nobody that plays in their weakness is going to have success. So eventually, do I think he can take on starting job? Absolutely. Because they drafted him with the hope that he would. But I just don't believe it this year unless Joe Flacco, as I hate to say it, I say it all the time, unless he just steps up.
Okay. I'm basing everything I'm saying on Joe Flacco and what I have not seen from Joe Flacco over the last, not 1, 2, but 5 years. They have missed the playoffs 4 of the last 5 years. They've missed the playoffs 3 straight years because they made Joe Flacco, coming off their Super Bowl year, the highest paid player in the league. He is scheduled again to make this year $25 million. You just can't justify it off his regular season performances over the last 5 years. His QBR, best stat for evaluated quarterback, was average over those 5 years, 19th in the league, and he's making $25 million. It's wrong. He's thrown 74 interceptions over the last 5 years. That's second in the entire NFL, only to Eli Manning, who's led the league 3 times in interceptions. It's just wrong, and it's the old fool me once, shame on you. But fool me twice, 3, 4, 5 times, but shame on me. Because you just keep going back to that well, because Joe Flacco looks the part. He's 6 feet 6 inches tall, and we saw his arm on display last night. He can throw rockets. He can throw big rockets. He can also throw it to the other team, and he can come all apart in lots of regular season games. I can't argue with that playoff run, especially that one to the Super Bowl, because he won 4 games with 11 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. I don't know how he did that, but it didn't help you over the next 5 years because you committed way too much money to a guy who's below average. As a regular season performer, he's below average. They don't have weapons on offense. I'm not the biggest Crabtree fan. Alex Collins is the running back.
Things good again, you boy.
Quiet.
Join my crew.
It's
Great.
low
That
energy
sounds
so
great.
far
Whatever you
with
say.
Flacco. And I know he's having a great
Things are
game.
already looking up.
Have to take it up a level. It's a threat to him. But I don't know. This kid to me is just electric. He is electric. He's not an escape artist as far as eluding people in the pocket. But once he gets free, the acceleration from 0 to 60 is like a half a second, and he is full speed. And he can gash a defense, and he's smart enough. He's the opposite of RG3. He knows when to get down. He knows how to protect himself. He did not get banged up in college. I saw him. He didn't take big licks and big shots.
If you remember, look at our first Super Bowl in 2000. You played defense, you run the ball with Jamal Lewis, and you keep the special teams game with Jermaine Lewis. You look at how they won it in 2012. Run the ball with Ray Rice, play outstanding defense, Jacoby Jones in the return game. That's how they do it. That's how they're going to do it again. They've really never had...
And Antoine Bolden took it up to some other... He was like in the twilight zone. And Flacco could just throw it in the area code. He would just go snap it.
Today, I'm
He made Flacco a lot of money. He did.
And the young Forrest Smith gave
Hoover didn't even acknowledge the Mafia existed.
So that's the way they're going to have to play. But I just feel right now that there's a lot that...
after that.
And we talked about this earlier, Rob. You know, the second team quarterback, he runs the scout team. So he's responsible for getting the defense ready for what they're going to face. So that would be a great test for him because they're going to give you a lot of different looks. They're going to get enough to simulate
that week's opponent. It's not what Lamar does. You know, like it's not who he is.
He just needs to get proficient at throwing the ball. He's always going to be able to move around the pocket. He just needs to get proficient at dropping back and forth the ball with anticipation. Because they're going to preach Lamar, when your foot, I don't care if it's ticked off. When your back foot hits 5, we need you to let the ball go. Because that's what Tom Brady's going to do. That's what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. Because you want to simulate that for your defense.
The problem with trying to evaluate Lamar Jackson on the pro level is it's not a pretty delivery. It looks a little funky, a little awkward, but when the ball comes out, it spins. It's pure. And that's true.
I mean, that's why people say Mike Vick, but no. Mike Vick was more of a ready quarterback. Randall was the raw, slower, and all that. You know, but in all he ended up doing, didn't he win an MVP? Look, this guy's got so much upside. He's going to be phenomenal. And I know, look, he's not a pocket passer. He's not going to be great back there. But when you do put him in there, you got to give the defense a fear of God.
You will.
And you know, I think there's room for this guy. He's got to play several plays a game. He's got to be in this offense. And if it motivates Flacco, great. Because Flacco, we all know, all of a sudden he can turn it on when you least expect it. All of a sudden Flacco turns it up. So, you know, he's going to have to hold up the kids because if he's not getting it done and that offense is stinking the place up, getting, you know, 200 yards a game, they're going to put the young kid in there. He's ready to go. The young kid throws a lot. That's a big plug in with it, you know.
All right, Rob, thank you for joining us. One prominent NFL player making change to his national anthem protest. We'll talk about.
Drivers of glass.
Witnesses claim the two men recently returned from tours of vehicles.
In college football, every game has consequences.
No, you finally fixed the chair.
You know it.
Just pick and roll.
Icy hot latte cake.
Had been one of the players that raised his fist during the national anthem, but this weekend he saluted for the anthem during training camp. He said he would continue to protest and he was prepared to be fined for it. But this weekend, Casey said, quote, "I'm trying to make sure I use my platform the right way and find different ways we can use this platform in a better way." Now, Rob Parker is joining us for this discussion.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for being here. I am going to start with you. Are you okay with this change from Casey?
You know I'm not okay because in July he said he would take the fines, Skip. And what is at first, I believe is conviction. And it's this lack of conviction that have transformed him into believing that what he was doing was anti-American. So what does he do, Skip? He's given into that narrative, and now he's saluting the flag. The weight of what he was doing started to weigh on him. And him being portrayed by so many as being anti-American, led by the highest elected official in the country, it broke him. And so now he's like, I want to use my platform. So what you believe what you were doing before was negative. Because you say you want to use your platform in a positive manner, you believe that what you were doing by raising your fist was wrong, was negative. By saluting the flag, nobody's going to think you're doing anything but showing patriotism to America. What are you trying to bring attention to? When you raised your fist, when guys took a knee, they were trying to raise awareness. And people, they jump on my timeline all the time. Like they say, well, what is kneeling for? What is wearing shoes? Nothing ways of awareness. The kneeling, the fist raising, is raising awareness.
Do you tweet that out back to the women? What do they say? They have no answer. Yeah. Of course, this is
What is this? Dude! You know what? It sounds good every time. It sounds good. I was going to take my fine. But when you get back down to the realization and it says, this could possibly happen, that I shouldn't get fined $5,000, $10,000, all of the NFL will really stand down until we have some kind of resolution. But to hear him say, this issue, I told you, 46 yeah, he hears it there. Whatever side you pick, I can respect that. But for him to say he want to find a positive, something positive to do with his platform. So in other words, you believe what you've been doing for the last year and a half has been negative. Tell me everything I need to know.
And Shannon, there's nothing worse than a flip-flopper. And that's what
Nothing worse.
To where your message and what you stood
Nothing
for,
worse.
You've muddied the water, you've made people look into it, and I'm with you. You succumb to the pressure. This whole notion, and the word term that he used in his quote was right way. What right way? I still, when I hear people, there's no right way to protest. No. I hear this all the time. This isn't a time of, even Tony Dungy, this isn't a right time or place. Or, you know, there is no right time or place to protest. And especially when you're in
about black coaches too, Tony.
That's right.
This wasn't the time for black coaches. This wasn't the place. But go ahead, Roger.
But you know, that's my point. Is that if you want to alter and change things in the world, they're not going to come in and say, oh, what, you got a problem? Okay, let's get this fixed and talk about it. It doesn't work like that. So you have to make people uncomfortable where they are. And every time I hear people say that this isn't the right place, when they play the national anthem, right, it's supposed to be about where this country's been, where it's gone, what it's been through. That's your personal moment to reflect. And if life isn't right or comfortable or feels good to you, why shouldn't you at that point, your own time, I'm not impeding you, I'm not asking Skip to do anything, I'm not blocking you from your flag or what you're doing. This is my personal time, my minute and a half to sit there and reflect on what's going on. There's no better time than that time. So every time I hear that it's not the right time, if you're at the game and you're in the stands and you don't want to look down and see me, look at the flag. Why are you looking at the sideline and being bothered by what I'm doing when you're in the stands and you can look up at the flag or you can close your eyes and praise God or whatever it is that you want to do during that time? I don't get it.
Well, look at this one thing. And there's been so many, even our president said it, and what he did was confirm it. They don't even know what that protest is.
Apparently not. So today, Jerome Casey made his first stand. I applaud him. And I made the point, so did I. No, I wasn't here that day, but I know Shannon, yes, for sure. And I made the point, he's a very good football player who played in the shadows in Tennessee, but he's come out of the shadows, making this national stand. It rang true, it rang loudly from sea to shining sea. He was the first player to step up, as we talked about the new NFL policy, and say, no, I will take my fine. Way to go. Well, I'm sorry, this is all-time weak. This is nothing but a sellout because he didn't just stand quietly.
That's the right term, too.
Yeah. He went all the way to, I'm going to salute. So now you have completely caved in, I assume, to social media or backlash to friends and family. I have no idea, but he caved in. Yes. And it looks so weak at a time when the President of the United States continues to attack NFL players. It looks like you're saluting the President. I don't know. I was dumbfounded by this, and I lost all respect that I had so hugely gained for him when he first made his stance and statement. So I'm going to get back to this just quickly because you guys are both very hard on Dak Prescott. This is the opposite of Dak Prescott. At least Dak Prescott in 2016 and 2017 said, I stand for the anthem. It is very clear that I am pro Colin Kaepernick and I feel very strongly about the cause of fighting police brutality against black men and women.
Yeah.
But I just choose to stand for the anthem. Then he got caught in the crossfire because all of a sudden his owner has issued some dictatorial decree. We will stand for the anthem.
Even though nobody kneeled for the Cowboys.
Nobody. Right. It was not necessary to do that except to just flex your muscles for the sake of the President of the United States who appears to be a buddy of yours or some sort of phone confidant of yours.
Correct.
And all of a sudden, as the new leader of the team, Dak Prescott, obviously no Jason Witt, no Des Bryant, he's asked again, what's your stance? And he reiterated, I stand for the anthem. Well, it prompted you two to say, oh, you sold out to Jerry, who sold out to the President of the United States. But I think Dak was just standing by his original. All right, I got it.
That was it.
He also said that he felt like kneeling had served its purpose and run its course to create more new awareness that we sort of burned out on the.
But the only thing is, and Shannon brought up the perfect example, it's only okay to continue awareness when the league can make money off of it. This is something that they can't make any money off of, and that's why they have no use for it. But that's just the reality of it. And this whole notion, Robinson, right, Jack Johnson, and we're there. And Jesse Owens, and even 1968, and Joe Louis, and Max Smelling. I mean, we could go on and on and on. It's what sports is based on, has a big part of. So this whole notion that we should separate it, no, it's a microcosm of our society.
Exactly.